Ladies and gentlemen, I want to be honest. Keeping the green transition in the spotlight and on track has become more challenging today than it was 2 years ago. With the pandemic and the ongoing war in Ukraine, there are voices that question the European Green Deal. And citizens who ask us, can we afford it when the price of food and energy continues to rise? These are questions we need to take seriously, questions we need to address. The war is a reminder of the things we take for granted. Not just peace and security, but also clean water, clean air or healthy soils. And like COVID, the war and its impacts unveil our vulnerabilities and also show the importance of the EU's social fabric. When prices rise, inequalities also increase between rich and poor, but between richer and poorer countries as well. That's why the just transition is an essential element of the European Green Deal. Our deal will only work if it is fully inclusive. Green policies are vital for nature. They are vital for climate and environment, but they are equally important for society, the economy and health, and even for our security. So let me be clear. This appalling war is not a reason to delay the Green Deal, but it is a very good reason to intensify our work on implementation. Sticking to our long-term Green Deal objectives is the only path to greater resilience. In this context, I very much welcome your work on the Green Deal barometer, and I would like to thank all those involved in it for their commitment. It is a great tool for taking the pulse. It shows us the work to do on the path to a transition that's green and just. Looking at the findings, respondents see the most progress on climate files. That's in line with the priorities of the European Commission and our drive for carbon neutrality by the middle of the century. It is also reassuring to see that despite COVID-19 and the geopolitical challenges, respondents are cautiously optimistic about the green transition. But I take note, as well as of concerns they express. There is plenty more work to do on tackling the other crises in addition to climate change. The work continues at speed to implement our Farm to Fork strategy. We are revising EU rules for air and water under the zero pollution ambition. And we have just proposed new legislation for nature with legally binding targets to restore ecosystems. Our new initiative is part of our efforts to preserve and restore ecosystems and implement the EU strategy for biodiversity. And it is part of our efforts to use nature-based solutions by restoring particularly carbon-rich ecosystems to mitigate the impacts of climate change and meet our climate goals. And with the recent adoption of the 8th Environmental Action Programme, our mandate is now stronger than ever before. It stretches beyond the Green Deal of the current mandate to 2030, and it cements our long-term vision to 2050. It also lays the foundation for a resilient, well-being economy inside the planetary boundaries. It is a pledge to measure progress with values that go far beyond GDP. To bring these proposals to fruition, we need the goodwill and determination of people on the ground. Think tanks and civil society play a vital role in keeping these debates alive. You educate, you illuminate, and you bring people along on the journey. A journey that must be inclusive if we hope to succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for your efforts, and I wish all participants fruitful and inspiring discussions during this third edition of the Think 2030 conference.